Bahlil Lahadalia. He's a self-serving, egotistical, opportunistic, half-wit, and somehow Prabowo gave him a sweet job of being the Minister of Energy and Mineral Resources. Honestly, sir, you're better off giving that job to a Minecraft player than this mob creature. This goblinoid has managed to weasel his way into not one, but 2 cabinet offices in Indonesia. 2 cabinet offices. First, becoming the Minister of Investment, replacing a crack Chinese Indonesian finance bro, where he would immediately turn Indonesia's investment up and somehow manage to bump Indonesians' investment upwards.
Really, Nick?
The data show that investment did increase during his time, but I'm still skeptical whether or not these data are fabricated owing to his recent track record. 2, becoming the Minister of Energy and Mineral Resources. This is after a journalistic investigation where he was implicated in a corruption where he would revoke mining rights in exchange for logistics, quote unquote. He would buy shares of a mining company using another company that he owns. Bro, this guy's shady meter is off the charts, and they put him in charge of something that he would very well exploit from. I really don't know what the government was thinking about this one, but this is a poor choice even in politics.
Tapi itu bagus bahwa hidup itu disiplin.
And that's not getting how this utter bottom of the barrel managed to wriggle his way into becoming the chairman of one of the most ancient and venerable political parties in Indonesia, the Golkar Party. Historically, Golkar has always been ruled by technocrats, officials, and accomplished businessmen. Abu Rizal Bakri was an Indonesian conglomerate, Akbar Tanjung was a crack secretary, and Golkar's upper echelons were dominated by the best and brightest Machiavellian pricks whose specialty does not stop at politics and policy. And somehow, this ferret got control of this party. Bruh, what? Back in 2024, he was declared the chairman of the Golkar Party, ousting Erlangga Hartarto from the position, with rumors circulating that Jokowi got him that position after leveraging a case against Erlangga, completely picking Bahlil over the competent old guards like Agus Kartasasmita and Bambang Sutsatyo. So if these rumors were true, then Bahlil had received freebies from Jokowi. Yes, one of the most prestigious positions in Indonesia literally became a hand-me-down. And not only that, there has been rumors that Bahlil has been jockeying for more power inside the Indonesian Chamber of Commerce, aka Kadin, and the Indonesian Association of Young Businessmen, aka HIPMI. This man is truly a goblin from Dungeons and Dragons, and he has already acquired one of the most powerful seats in Indonesia, so he wants more. Typical goblin. So this is what Erlangga was referring to when he joked that Bahlil had stolen the seat for the Indonesian National Police Chief. Pretty sneaky there, Erlangga. Bahlil had now secured a place where he can exploit Indonesian mining, had control over the most powerful political party in Indonesia, and was part of the ruling Jokowi and Prabowo circle, yet, in true goblin fashion, he decided to squander all his gains. A few days ago, he had restricted resellers from selling liquefied petroleum gas in local kiosk retailers around Indonesia. And this is a huge problem because, 1, everyone uses liquefied petroleum gas to cook in Indonesia. 2, most people get their gas from retailers since official vendors aren't widespread. Naturally, shit hit the fan. Upon his banning, many lower and middle-class Indonesians scrambled to look for official gas vendors, creating long lines of people in official stores. Lines that could last hours upon hours, that had killed 2 women, one from overheating, the other one from getting running over by a truck after buying her long sought-after gas. Bahlil was immediately in deep shit. Prabowo did instruct him to fix this mess, but he, again, in usual goblinoid fashion, turned it into an utter disaster. You see, the issue with liquid petroleum gas distribution is that many Indonesian households rely on them to cook their food. And there weren't many official vendors in Indonesia because regulation to receive a license to officially sell these were stifling. So the supply chain was heavily sustained by retailers who often mark up the prices to tolerable levels, which people again didn't mind because the retailers themselves had to make money somehow to cover the logistic costs. But no, bro had more hibiki in his system than he did blood, so instead of addressing the underlying distribution of supply issue, he decided to jump the gun and ban all retailers, causing the supply chain to plummet. And what's amusing was that this is happening during the momentum towards the reshuffling of the cabinet. And let me tell you why this is a thing. Reshuffling is a period of backstabbing and deception where government officials would try to remove each other from office by paying the media and journalists to spread failures and cases of other government officials and their enemies, or to outright politically orchestrate their downfall. So in essence, bro shot himself in the foot trying to run away from zombies, dropped on the floor, and got eaten alive. This is the absolute worst moment he could fumble, but bro did it. Because I literally don't know how his political brain allowed him to come up with such a terrible policy without considering the risk. And now we know that he didn't get there through political skill and acumen alone. And as the story with Jokowi and Erlangga suggests, all of the position he got are handed down towards him. And once again, this highlights the flaws in Indonesian political tradition, who instead of appointing actual competent ministers that didn't try to falsify their doctorates like this screw-up did, are actually people of merit and achievement. Yet somehow we can't seem to get out of this loop. Like Prabowo literally ignored all his red flags and chose this guy for a job that requires innate understanding of economy, supply chain, and minerals. So let me break down to you his red flags. Opportunism. The way he maneuvered into multiple powerful positions from Ministry of Investment to Minister of Energy and even a chairman of Golkar suggests that someone who is more focused on personal gain rather than governance. The alleged backing of Jokowi to oust Erlangga Hartarto even makes it even more suspicious. Alleged corruption. The mining permit scandal where he allegedly revoked license to strong-arm companies into paying quote-unquote logistic fees is a classic example of regulatory capture. If true, it's a textbook case of using state power for personal enrichment. While some opportunism is expected in politics, well obviously, politics is just filled with opportunists everywhere. Bahlil's trajectory seems more reliant on being a useful tool for more powerful figures rather than an actual player himself. His track record suggests that his rise wasn't due to merit, but because he was a convenient piece in Jokowi and Prabowo's power consolidation efforts. In Indonesian politics, this is called a bumper. Given the public backlash and his poor crisis management, his days in the cabinet might be numbered. Prabowo will definitely need more competent ministers, not walking liabilities. And if reshuffling leads to his removal, it'll be the well-deserved political downfall of Bahlil. Bahlil embodies the flaws in Indonesia's patronage-driven politics where loyalty and connections trump merit. He might have benefited from the system, but when real policy decisions needed to be made, he exposed himself as an incompetent seat warmer who couldn't probably handle power responsibly. It's one thing to be a schemer, it's another to be a schemer with no foresight. And I'm afraid that this is a problem that continues to permeate where we keep on giving politicians seats for jobs they're grossly unqualified for just to win party bargains and figures that props them up, only to remove them and replace them with someone more loyal or competent. I'm sorry, but this is really an inefficient way of doing politics and dividing power. And that is why we must once again review the systems that conditions this play into place. You literally waste 100 days doing absolutely nothing, and this doesn't go for Bahlil. This goes to many ministries of the government. The Presidential Communication Office, the zero communication with the public on behalf of the government and the president. The Minister of Maritime Affairs makes it rather hard for a fisherman to fish, rather to make it easier and more safer. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs sucks at diplomacy and manipulation. The way politics are being conducted in this country sucks ass. I mean, look at many Zoomers are being rejected from work because they're either overqualified or lack proper job ethics. Meanwhile, you literally have the Minister of Laws and Human Rights going on a record to expose his womanizing on live television in front of his own staff and the entire nation.
Saya Sudah 13 tahun tidak punya istri, cuma 3 pacar.
And if that's not lack of proper job ethics, I don't think that excuse stands anymore. Seriously though, with the upcoming reshuffling, I hope our government can actually make a change instead of doubling down on their lacking and appointing more goblins to the office. Thank you for watching the Base Indonesian Show. Don't forget to click like and subscribe and join my Discord server. And I'll see you in the next episode of the Base Indonesian Show.
Subscribe to the Based Indonesian Show. Dijamin halal